little piece of trivia. What is the first holiday, maybe other than Shabbat, that's mentioned in all of Tanakh? The first holiday. And the answer in this week's Parsha is Sukkot. The word Sukkot is found at the end of the story with Yaakov and Esav, and it seems to be in the most random place. Now, as we know, Yaakov has been running away from Esav for the past two Parshiyot. He's scared that his brother's going to come kill him. Finally, he meets him. And he doesn't know how it's going to go, so he plans with tefillah, as well as with getting his family ready to fight maybe. He sends presents in a diplomatic way to his brother. And at the end of the story, it ends out perfectly well. However, he goes in separate ways. Esav goes his way, and Yaakov ends up going to a place called Sukkot. Why is it called Sukkot? Because Yaakov built Sukkot for his animals there. Now this seems like a really random piece of information. What in the world does that have anything to do with this story? What makes it even more interesting is Bnei Israel, when they leave Egypt, the first place they go is also Sukkot. Now it's a different Sukkot. It's not the Sukkot in Eretz Israel that Yaakov went to, but it's a Sukkot in the desert. Why, after these big, difficult situations where they were saved, they end up going to Sukkot? There's a third place where the Jewish people end up going to Sukkot that shines light on this idea. It says in Ezra and Nehemiah, when the Jewish people come back from Galut, from the diaspora in Bavel, they end up celebrating Sukkot. Now the Gemara says it was an incredible Sukkot, and it was so special that it was never like that since the time of Yeshua ben Nun. The Gemara asks, what are you talking about? They didn't sit in Sukkot since the time of Yeshua ben Nun. The Gemara answers that Sukkot is a euphemism. It's an idea, it's a concept. And the concept was that they prayed that they wouldn't any longer have a yetzer, have an inclination to idol worship. Now that's a very interesting idea. Why is Sukkot not having an inclination to idol worship? Now if you think about where these people are coming from, they were just exiled from the land. And the reason why they were exiled from the land was because they were idol worshippers. They had an inclination, a yetzer hara for idol worship, and they end up falling to that inclination, and because of that they were kicked out of the land. They're finally back. The only thing on these people's mind, other than the joy of returning to Israel, is how do we make sure that this lasts? How do we make sure that this is not just something which is a fleeting salvation and then it falls away at the wayside? So they prayed that they'll get rid of the inclination that started it all, the inclination to idol worship. In other words, they celebrated Sukkot. Sukkot represents a shmirah, a protection from the salvation that we had previously. That salvation will not be fleeting, but rather will last because of the Sukkot. And this is the same idea as when Yaakov and Bnei Israel, when they left Mitzrayim, also went to Sukkot. Yaakov, after this difficult time, he was saved. It was an incredible time. However, how do we know that this is going to last? And we always have to think about that. We're not just short-term salvations, but rather long-term planning on how can we make sure that everything that we have, we're able to last for a longer time. Shabbat Shalom.